10th, 2019 now. Welcome to our regular scheduled TDC meeting this morning, and I'm back again. So I've been appointed chairman of the TDC again, I think. So I'll be here for another few more months, so that's a good thing. So we're good. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order, and please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. If we could do a roll call now, please. Here.
Here.
Here. So happy to be here.
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 Great, thank you. And at this time, we'll make a motion to approve the December 13th, 2018 TDC meeting minutes.
So moved.
We have a motion, Councilwoman Smith. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Colleen. Any discussion? Any objection? No objection. Motion carries. And we'll go ahead and call for public comment. Any public comment at this time? John, come on up. Sure you're going to tell us all the great news for this year's City of Palms tournament.
I can't wait to hear how fabulous it was.
Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, I'm John Naylor. I'm the Executive Director of City of Palms Basketball. We just wrapped up the 46th annual tournament at the just before Christmas. We had not record crowds, but we had crowds that matched the year before. We had 2 bad days of weather. If you remember, Tuesday it rained all day, and Wednesday we just about blew that arena away, literally. The palm trees were leaning over. But overall, we had a great tournament, had some great teams. Normally we get a lot of press when the top teams in the country are here and they win. Last year's tournament, and it's hard for me to always talk about last year when we're only a couple weeks into the new year. But that week, all 5 of the top 5 teams in the country lost. 4 of them at City of Palms and 1 in Hawaii. So there was a real shuffling of the top teams in the country. McEachern from Powder Springs, Georgia, has a little guard named Sharif Cooper, who was, they were here in 2017 as well as 2018, and Sharif scored 42 points in 1 game in 2017. He led all scorers at the Nike EYBL Peach Jam in July, averaging 38.5 points. So he's the real deal, and he's only a junior. So hopefully, if he doesn't transfer someplace, they'll be back next year. But overall, we had a great tournament, and I want to just thank the County Commission and the TDC for their support. We had a total reach just in the month of December of 3,360,000 total reach. We had website pages, again, just in the month of December, 253,855 visits to our website. So the word's getting out. Social media is truly the way to go. And again, I just want to thank everybody. I did bring a couple of programs for you guys to take a look at if you'd like.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, John. Great job this year again. Look forward to next year. Any other public to be heard at this time?
Hi, I am Marianne Rogers. My glasses. I'm a neighbor of Serena Vista. It's a specialty nature park in North Cape Coral. Last month, the TDC granted an extension on money it approved in 2015 to fund an observation deck. My neighbors and I heard about this deck last month by accident. None of the current residents lived in this area prior to 2015, and none of the residents are supporting this observation deck. I did my due diligence when I built in this area. I researched the park. We purchased here aware that there was a nature park across the canal from us. But everything we read, including the City of Cape Coral's 2016 Parks Master Plan, which is the only thing online describing the park, nothing mentioned anything about platforms. In fact, I do agree with much of what the park master plan does say, and we were well aware that this was a park and we're for the park. However, the platform is not. There's currently no signage to keep people on paths. People are consistently climbing down hills into the water. They're damaging the banks, they're damaging the mangroves, and they're fishing everywhere. This park is currently an after-hours party park. It's also a fishing park. There's no fence, no gate, no lights, no restrooms, no security of any kind. The parking lot is dust. The kids come here at night. They spin donuts in the parking lot. Who knows what else? A couple nights ago, I called the police because some kids were shooting off fireworks right under an eagle nest. A couple weeks ago, I called. There were 4 trucks lined up after hours. And when I call, I think they're listening to some police-type scanner. I don't know, but the guys proceeded to drive by my house very slowly. I'm scared in my house. My husband's disabled. He's in a wheelchair, and the police are always slow to arrive. This proposed deck that's been approved is 105 feet at the widest. It's 56 feet at the narrowest, and it goes 30 feet into the canal. The average lot here is only 80 feet wide. The lots in this canal are all west-facing, and we paid a premium to buy here. This platform essentially builds an arena that looks directly into the private areas of our homes, into our yards, swimming pools, hot tubs, etc., putting us clearly on display for a random group of spectators. We currently have strangers with cameras, binoculars, and headlamps looking into our house at all hours of night. This platform is putting them 30 feet closer to us. I just heard the city of Cape Coral and Fort Myers is experiencing growth of 1,000 people a week. We need to be proactive and set up parks and prepare growth smartly. Adding a platform is decreasing property values of homes built on this canal and not an example of working together. Instead, spending money on a platform, money needs to be spent improving this park. Carrie Runyon is aware of all of our concerns, and I'm here today asking this TDC to reconsider their funding of the platform. A lot has changed since this project was initially approved in 2015.
Great, thank you.
Which park was it? Serenia Vista? Yes.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Any other public comment at this time?
Good morning, Commissioner Pendergrass and TDC members. Jesse Lavner with Lee County Parks and Recreation. I just wanted to make you all aware of a recent majority sale of the Fort Myers Miracle Baseball Club to Mr. Andrew Kaufman and Coffee Baseball. So he's going to say a few words.
So, thank you. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say what an honor it is for my family and I to be part of your community. We're actually have a home inspection in Bonita Springs this afternoon. We'll be living here for most of the baseball season and back and forth a lot in between. This is definitely for us. It's a dream, right? We have 2 passions, business and baseball, and to be able to do that here in Fort Myers and Lee County is just a treat. So we're hoping to get really involved in the community, working with the children's hospitals and doing other things to kind of make this the best place that it can be and do our part in that. And that's one of my favorite things about this opportunity. So I look forward to getting to know everybody, and thank you for being so welcoming. And everyone has been amazing. So thank you.
Great, thank you. Welcome.
Welcome.
You guys.
Any other public comment?
Good morning. I'm Greg Longenhagen. I am the new artistic director of the Florida Repertory Theater. And I'm delighted to be able to speak with you today. I really just came over to introduce myself. Some of you I've known for many, many, many years. Some of you have seen me on stage, seen my children on stage, my wife on stage. I've been with the theater company since its inception in 1998, but this is the first time that I'm joining operations there. The season is well underway, and we are thriving. We have a production of Fences, which is it's opening tomorrow. We had 2 previews yesterday and the day before, and that's a landmark production for us to be doing here in Southwest Florida, and especially here in the city. So please come out and see that. We also have Tenderly, the Rosemary Clooney musical, which is running just down the hallway in our second space, our studio space. Excuse me, and that runs until the 24th. One of the things that you may already know, but one of the things that makes Florida Rep different from any of the other theaters or arts organizations here in Lee County and in the city of Fort Myers is that we are a professional equity theater company. There are a lot of theater companies around that are community theater companies, which are terrific. Many of those actors are members of the community who work for free just for the opportunity to come onto stage and do a play, which is lovely. We are a fully professional theater. All of the entities in our theater on staff, all of our artistic staff, our designers, our directors, our actors are all professionals. Some are from the area. We employ a huge ensemble from people in Lee County and in Fort Myers and Cape Coral. But we also bring in some actors from across the country. And, excuse me, I hope that you will all come out and see a show sometime this season. And please, 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 if you would like to see something, contact me directly. I would love to have you and some of your party be a personal guest of mine at the theater. Thank you.
Any other public comment at this time? We're going to municipalities to be heard.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michelle Dean. I'm with City of Cape Coral Parks and Recreation, and it's quite ironic that you would come today and express your concerns about Serenity Vista because I came to tell you about some cool things happening at Serenity Vista, so I'm the one who brought the brochures. Amber, if you could show the slide. We actually appreciate everything the TDC has done to support and help fund improvements at this new environmental park. This was completed yesterday. This is part of the TDC beach and shoreline funding allocations. This was the kayak canoe launch that's handicap accessible. It was originally scheduled to be completed in December and again just got completed yesterday. So this is fresh off the press. Another one of the funding allocations from TDC is to fund a Serenity Vista modular restroom, so a full restroom facility and not the porta potties. We certainly take your concerns seriously, and I will take that back to our team. I'm glad I'm here today to hear you say those things because we're just trying to make another place where the public and the neighborhood can enjoy the manatees, the park itself, and again, we're just trying to do the best we can to put improvements in, and certainly that's news to me about the after hours, but it's something I will certainly take back to our team. And thank you all again for the funding.
Any other municipalities be heard? On that note, maybe I can go ahead and I just want to address one of the public comments about the park we just heard about again. So I believe that was all funded through TDC in the past, and just so the public can be known that that's the City of Cape Coral Park, so the TDC has no right or authority over that park as far as the use of it. So it was a funding request from years ago, and the City of Cape Coral, for the public comment, the neighbor who was here this morning, I would stay involved with Cape Coral, the City of Cape Coral, and the city management there. And I don't know if Councilman Carriosha has any background on this information or not, but the City of Cape Coral has to respond to any concerns. Obviously, they're a police department as far as trespassers and use of the park. So
exactly, and that's up in Council Members Rick Williams' area. I will pass the information on to him, and we will do everything to make it right.
Great, thank you. That brings it to our attention now. Okay, we'll go on to the report of the Executive Director, Cameron.
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hope it's been a good year with Mother Nature this year.
Well, I like how cold it is up north. How's that?
Yeah. Colder the better, right?
The colder the better, as long as it doesn't snow too much, because too much snow means airports close, and we do not want airports to close. Just bitter cold is what we want. A little bit of snow, but bitter cold. And our cold day will end today, and tomorrow we'll be back right where we're supposed to be. The bed tax report for November came in at $2.26 or $2.27 million. You see the number there, down 8.8% over last November. I want to give you a friendly reminder. Last November, we were up 19.1%, benefiting significantly from the crews that were in our primarily inland hotels, but some coastal hotels too. For many months, making repairs post-Hurricane Irma and assessments. If you look back at November of 2016, probably a more comparable number, that number was just under $2.1 million. So this number is 8.6% higher than 2016's November number. And I think we're going to have to play that game for a little while, because I think we all recognize that last fall was a bit of an anomaly because of the hurricane. But that's the more comparable number in my opinion. For the year to date, that's $4.2 million, down 14% over last year. Looking back again at 2016, it would be up 1% over 2016. In terms of the bed tax report, again, what would you expect to see? The numbers would be down again, same conversation. 66.3% on occupancy, down 12.9%. I was very pleased to see the ADR decline was a much smaller number than the decrease in occupancy. It's good that we've been able to hold on to rate, 122.75 for a RevPAR of 81.38. And I'm just going to flip up the number from 2016, the same STAR report. So again, I just told you 66.3 for occupancy, almost identical, a 0.1% decline there. ADR actually up 122 versus 119, and then of course the RevPAR 81 versus 79. So just in fairness, a more equitable comparison number for you. RSW Airport, good news, up 5.6% for the month of November, and for the year, 8.4 million, also that's seeing 5.6%. So we're seeing good growth at the airport, which we're thrilled with. Now I would like to invite Jill Vance up to give you an update on the sales activity for the last quarter and a preview of the current quarter.
I'm Jill Vance, Director of Sales, and I'll be going over our sales activities. So here's a recap of the first quarter results of this new fiscal year sales goals. The first goal is to increase by 5% the number of meeting room nights from our RFPs that we've sent our hotel partners. We need to average about 58,000 per quarter to be on pace to reach this goal. And we are ahead of pace by almost 5,000 room nights, so we're off to a good start. Another objective is a 3% increase in the number of group meeting room nights booked by our hotel partners from the leads that we have sent them. We need to average a little over 11,000 per quarter, and we're almost 2,000 ahead of pace. In addition, we aim to host 125 travel professionals here in the destination through familiarization and site tours. We need to average about 33 per quarter. And we are 61 ahead of pace, but we need to be ahead of pace because we don't schedule fans during season so our hotels can maximize their revenue. We're also targeting to hold 30 client events, and we need to average 8 per quarter, and we are ahead of target on this as well. And our final objective is to increase by 5% the number of wedding leads sent. We need to average 62 per quarter, and we are behind pace on this particular goal. However, we are 16 leads ahead of the same time last year, so I'm confident we will get back on track with all the engagements that typically occur over the holidays. VCB on the road. Here are some of the group sales team's activities for last quarter, and we didn't have to travel far for this show. Visit Florida held their Florida Encounter Meeting Planner Show right here in Lake County at the Hyatt Regency Coconut Point. As the host destination, we had the opportunity to showcase exactly how our natural setting improves meeting performance by inspiring innovation to meeting planners who book Florida. And here are some photos of a few more of the shows that the group sales team participated in, and I just want to comment on the new shows. Jerry attended HPN Global Partner Conference, and as some of you know, HPN is a third party with about 175 meeting planners, and what's unique about HPN is that they have their own sourcing platform that allows hotels to respond to their leads in less than 10 minutes. So now that we're a partner this year, Jerry's already working with the HPN sourcing department on increasing our leads to the destination. Also, Candace attended the Boomers in Groups show. This is a show that had over 300 attendees, and it was a nice mixture of tour operators, group planners, even bank loyalty programs, and car club associations. And the last show I want to bring to your attention is Erin attended SpinCon, which is an exclusive to meeting planners with a minimum of 10 years experience. This event has a very rare 2-to-1 meeting planner to supplier ratio and a high percentage of independent meeting planners who are typically hard to reach. This was a great event for relationship building, and Erin has already sent a lead with over 500 room nights to our hotel partners from this show. Here are some highlights for the consumer and travel agent team's activities. The first photo is Shelley giving a presentation to over 50 travel agents in New York for a client event that we co-sponsored at the Working in Travel trade show. Also, we attended the Star Tribune Travel Show in Minneapolis. Although this was only the second year for the show, it attracted over 6,000 consumers. Next are upcoming activities for the domestic sales team, and just to point out a few for January, Betsy will be attending the PCMA Convene Leaders Conference. This is a hosted buyer event with about 4,500 attendees and a multitude of networking opportunities. Also, the New York Times Travel Show will be in the Visit Florida booth again, along with 2 of our hotel partners, and this consumer show attracts around 29,000 serious-minded consumers looking for their next travel experience. And the last show I want to bring to your attention is the RCMA Emerge Conference. RCMA is the world's largest faith-based events association conference, and it's been a few years since we participated in this show, but this year they've added an appointment component to the 3 trade show sessions. Over 400 faith-based meeting professionals will be in attendance, and Candace will also be conducting a client event in conjunction with this show. Okay, for February, just to highlight a couple, Shelley will be attending the AAA Great Vacations Expo in Columbus, Ohio. This expo has become one of the largest shows in the United States, attracting active Ohio travelers who spend more than $1.5 billion annually on vacations. And I also want to point out that Erin will be attending the Excite Tallahassee Trade Show. This is an appointment-based, hosted buyer show that attracts high-level meeting planners from all market segments. So it's a new show for us, and we're looking forward to the results. And finally, for March, Conference Direct is having their annual partners meeting. We will be attending the 3-day reverse trade show along with one of our hotel partners. For those of you who don't know, Conference Direct is another third party. They have about 325 meeting planners, and they own over 2,200 accounts, so we always get great results from this show. International. Stephanie Zinka is traveling, so I will update you on the international activities on her behalf. In October, we attended Feria International Tourism in Argentina. This is the largest travel trade show in Latin America. And this year we partnered with Tampa, St. Pete Clearwater, and the Naples CVB, and we pooled our resources and took a regional approach representing the west coast of Florida to the travel agents and media reps attending this show. Also, we participated in 3 consumer shows in Canada, one in Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and in the picture is Jeanette, our account manager in Canada, with one of our hotel partners at the Zoomers Lifestyle Show in Toronto. And finally, I want to point out that our Germany team conducted destination training to over 180 travel agents in 6 different German cities. For November, the highlight of this month was the World Travel Market in London. Tam and Stephanie conducted 45 meetings with tour operators, airlines, media, and online travel agencies. Also in November, we hosted FAMs for a total of 58 travel agents from 5 European countries. including Dare Tour from Germany and Virgin Holidays from the UK. In December, Stephanie and Charm hosted the annual Client Appreciation Luncheon for 22 receptive tour operators in Orlando, along with 6 of our industry partners. Also, we conducted FAMs for a total of 24 travel agents from Canada and the Netherlands. And here's an overview of the international activities for next quarter. As we speak, Stephanie is attending Florida Huddle. She's meeting one-on-one with over 40 tour operators, receptive tour operators, and online travel agencies. Also, Tam will be with Visit Florida for the Canada Takeover and will participate in key meetings with Canadian media and airlines. And since January and February are key booking months for both European and Canadian travelers, you see we have a very strong focus on consumer shows in these months. And for March, Tam and Stephanie will be attending ITB Germany. And this year we partnered with Enable CVB, and we're co-sponsoring the Visit Florida Pan Am event, in which there will be 250 trade and media professionals in attendance. And here's our contact information. Are there any questions?
Joe, I got one.
Yes.
When you say a client event in your projection going forward, what exactly, explain to me the client event, what is it?
Oh, certainly. That's where we invite prospective clients, prospective meeting planners or travel agents to an event. Typically it involves a meal of some sort, and then we do a presentation on the destination, and we have the captive audience and we earn their business that way.
So it's not exactly a fan trip, but
It's not. It's in their destination, not in ours. We go to them. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jill. Judy cannot be with us today, so very quickly I'm just going to do an overview statistics from visitor services, but the full packet is in your programs. Just wanted to point out that they assisted over 36,000 people, or nearly 36,000, I guess, 35,995 visitors in the last quarter of 2018. And, you know, obviously that has an amazing value to us, 7,306 volunteer hours, value of over 180,000. And you see for the year, nearly 185,000 visitors assisted, and 26,484 hours. So just, you know, we're very grateful for what our volunteers do to help us, but the whole packet's there if you're interested. And with that, Megan is going to give us the communications report.
Good morning. My name is Megan Contreras, and I am here to present the PR report on behalf of Francesca Donlin. For the 2018-2019 fiscal year, our goal is 3.15 billion impressions. And for the first quarter, we earned more than 354 million impressions. We do recognize that we are behind here, but given the challenges that we faced this summer, we do feel that this is a good number. We wouldn't be able to earn all of those impressions and end up in top magazines like the ones you see here on the screen if it wasn't for the kindness and generosity of our partners. Because of you, we are able to get in publications like Midwest Living. Just recently, Midwest Living published a piece. It was a beautiful 8-page spread. The journalist was here last spring, and he attended things like spring training and places like the Florida Rep. His final product included more than a dozen partners ranging from the Edison and Ford Winter Estates to the Green Cup Cafe right here in downtown Fort Myers. We think this is worth seeing, so we are going to be passing around the Midwest Living magazine so you can see that beautiful 8-page spread. Another incredible piece that we just received was in the Epic Times. This was a unique fan. We brought in a journalist to dive our artificial reefs, so that was pretty fun to work on. I worked with Leslie Haynes with the Lee County Natural Resources, so it was a great one-Lee effort. And our international contractors are constantly promoting our destination to journalists. They're pitching stories, and they are working to put together press trips in different FAMs to destination. We currently have 5 journalists from the UK that arrived here last night, and we are looking forward to spending the next 4 days with them. One of my favorite pieces was in a Canadian publication, the Travel Courier. It was titled, "Old Florida Charm Comes Naturally in Sanibel and Captiva." The journalist took beautiful photos while in destination, and after the FAM, he went back and did some extensive research on our destination that he included in his publication. And one of the responsibilities of the PR team is to handle crisis communications. And with the improvement in water quality, we wanted to bring in journalists so they could see the area for themselves. Recently, Jennifer Reed with Gulf Shore Life put together a comprehensive piece that really highlighted how VCBs and CBBs in our destination and in Lee County and the surrounding counties handle crisis communications and how we promote tourism here in Southwest Florida. Earlier in December, we hosted a FAM called Gift from the Sea, where we brought in top-tier journalists. We got them on the water. They spent a lot of time on our beaches. The conditions were beautiful. It was a success. I do want to mention a unique component of this FAM. They wanted to take part, the journalists wanted to take part in a volunteer opportunity. So they headed to Crow, where they built a birdhouse. So that was a nice component to that FAM. And Southwest Florida was mentioned in a piece called Florida's Red Tide is Finally Gone, and It's Time to Hit the Beach. This was done by the Matador Network, and it was under their trip planning section. And one of our priorities of the PR team is to do site visits. So in the last couple months, over the first quarter, the PR team went to the Otsego Bay Marine Science Center, where we had a wonderful educational tour on the working waterfront on San Carlos Island. We learned all about the shrimping industry and Gulf pink shrimp. I highly recommend this tour if you are looking for something to do if your family is here in our destination visiting, or if you just want something to do one day. We also headed to Boca Grande with our PR team from New York, NJF, and we took a tour of the island, and we stopped into the Gasparilla Inn and Club. And a couple of us went to the Sundial Beach Resort, where we had a tour done by Donna Brown. She showed us the resort, some of the different rooms, the restaurants, and all of the amenities. And we always love talking about our accolades, because this is where we are listed the best, if not one of the best. And I want to mention, this is not something that we apply for. The people within these magazines, they pick us. They pick our destination and places within our destination to be listed in these articles. Coastal Living just listed Captiva Island as one of the best Christmas towns in Florida. And a story in TripAdvisor magazine, Fort Myers Beach, Lover's Key State Park, and Point Ebell Brewing were listed as one of the 15 most romantic getaways in Florida for couples from the beach to the city. And Fort Myers was named one of the best places to retire by the Orlando Business Journal. And on your screen are some of the media engagements that we've had over the last 3 months. At the November TDC meeting, we shared with you a segment that we landed on the Today Show that showcased our destination and the Island Inn. Well, we just got the numbers, and we found out that more than 4 million people were tuned into the Today Show when our segment aired. So that is quite the accomplishment, and we are really happy to hear those numbers. And in November, we hosted 5 Canadian journalists on a nature FAM. They did things like biking on Sanibel, they did a sunset cruise, and they too went to Crow for an educational tour. They learned all about how Crow works with their animals and how they rehab them and get them back out in their natural habitat. Looking ahead, our schedules are busy, our calendars are full. We currently have Sophie Lind in destination. She is the host for the show The X Factor in Denmark. She is here for 2 weeks with her family. And I want to make mention of a fun fact. There are 5.7 million people in that country, and there are 1.3 million people that tune into the show. So we're really excited to have her here, and she is already posting on social media. She's been here for 3 days, so she's been actively posting on social media. Francesca Donlin is headed to the New York Times travel show at the end of the month, and we just found out that she has been invited to host a press conference to showcase our destination post-Red Tide. So we're looking forward to putting that together and her heading there to talk about our destination. And then in February, we will welcome Terry Ward with Sierra Magazine. She will be doing a family-friendly paddle of our Calusa Blueway. Now that completes my presentation, but before I leave the podium, I want to mention that all of the photos that you just saw were courtesy of our recent resident artist, RJ Snyder. RJ couldn't be with us today, but we wanted to highlight some of his work. It was a great collaboration, and we are very honored to work with such creative talent. That's it.
Thank you.
That concludes my report, unless there are any questions.
Okay, and you're going to cover the first quarter budget report?
I am. In Lucy's absence, we present to you today first quarter budget report. And the first thing you probably noticed was we expanded the budgets we're giving you in the budget report and decided that for the new year we would start including all three budgets that we oversee. So you see the VCB operating budget, the attractions marketing budget on the first sheet. The second sheet has the beach and shoreline operating budget, and then last but not least, the sports development budget. And if these budgets are acceptable to you, it would be nice to have a motion that you accept them.
We have a motion after everybody reviews.
So moved.
We have a motion by Pam,
Second.
a second by Holly. Any discussions? Any objection? No objection. Motion carries. Thank you. Is that it for you?
That's it for me.
Okay, we'll move on to council information. Tony, do you have anything for us?
No, I think we're over Christmas now. It's not a great thing. I looked up at those cameras and I thought they were snow machines for a minute, so I'm over the shock of the holidays. Moving on to the season.
You were all happy because Captiva is like in Starlight.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Christmas celebration, yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
Does anybody else have anything for the council before we move on to the TDC members items? No? Good, okay. Bob, would you like anything?
Nothing for me. Thanks.
Fine. No? Colleen?
Just a reminder that Chrysalis Awards is in May, but the nominations are open now, and those will close down in about 2 weeks. So if you want to nominate anybody for Chrysalis or nominate yourself, get those into us so that we can start working on it.
Great. Thank you.
I do not. Wishing everybody a great 2019 and looking forward to the good work ahead.
Thank you. John?
No report.
Thank you. Pam?
I'm with Holly. Happy New Year. It's going to be a great one. We're rocking and rolling. It's going to be great. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully, like I said at the beginning, hopefully Mother Nature is kind to us this year, and we'll look forward to that. I know the governor is making some announcements this morning on some water quality issues. I'm not sure if that's come out yet, what they're talking about today.
They have not.
So we look forward to this year, and hopefully it's a good year on the state and the federal level with funding for different projects here in Florida. So hopefully it's a good year. Tamara, do you have anything else?
One last thing. As I sent you in an email last week, we're going to be switching research companies, part of our ongoing RFP process that we do to ensure we get the best possible product at the best possible price for the county. And two gentlemen from Downs and St. Germain Research will be holding a little session immediately following this meeting. We'll clear out the room and they'll kick off. So if anyone is interested in staying and meeting them and learning a little bit more about their company and how they can help your business, please do that. So, thank you.
Glenn, do you have anything from the county manager's office?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have one thing, reminder that the Horizon Council annual meeting luncheon is not this coming Friday, but next. And your TDC chair is also the BOCC liaison to the Horizon Council. And just extend that a welcome for you to join us if you want to get in on that and haven't already, please let us know. We'll get you at a VIP spot there. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything for the county manager's office?
Nothing.
Great. Okay, we'll go ahead and adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you.